Notts County Talk, welcome to the Pavis Perspective. It's episode 81. It is the Woking preview, and we'll be reviewing the Wrexham game. If you are listening back on Spotify, please do drop us that 5-star review. It helps us out massively. And as you will already know, we always say that we are powered by BetterBats Computers. Fantastic computer repair shop. Mention us when you go in for some discounts on used computers or repairs. Loads to talk about tonight. Obviously, it's been pushed back from Thursday, which is our usual slot, not because we are just getting over the game on Monday for different reasons. We just weren't able to do it last night. But George, are you glad it's pushed back for the perspective of needing time to process Monday, or are you well over it? How are you feeling about it all now?
Yeah, I'm over it, and it's not even like I'm over it. I'm just immensely proud because what a day it was. I mean, I know we lost, and on this, like, the result is the important thing from the game. Devastated, obviously, the fashion that we lost the game in. We had a penalty in 90 plus 6 or 7 or whatever it was, and unfortunately, Ben Foster, who was playing Premier League football last season, saved it. But there was a lot to take from that game, a lot to be proud of, a fantastic game of football. I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves. I thought Wrexham did as well. They really exploited the high line that we were playing. One of the only teams this season to exploit the high line. And I know we've lost games, but they were the only team this season that we've seen exploit our high line, because we play such good football that teams aren't able to beat that high line. So yeah, disappointed in the result, but still immensely proud because a team that have cost over $1 million to put together, well over $1 million, and we've really put it on them at their place. We beat them in the reverse fixture, and a few mistakes our end. If those mistakes aren't made, the game's completely different. But unfortunately, that's just the way the game went. But yeah, we gave a really, really good account of ourselves, and a lot to be proud of, I think.
The free kick goes in. John Bostock, what a goal it was.
Moment of the season, without a doubt. Moment of the season.
The noise from the away end and the celebrations in the away end just before half time, when we knew there wasn't time, we knew we were going to have the break of half time. And I turned to you, didn't I? And I said, we've got 45, 50, with it being at Wrexham, I said possibly 55 minutes to see where the season's going. And I said, see how much we want it. But I don't think that was actually the case. I don't think it was how much we wanted it. I definitely don't. Wrexham, I've seen a lot of people talk. Their atmosphere is really good at the racecourse. Yeah. It's really, really good. Like, no matter what you say, you can be bitter and say, "Oh, it's poor." It's a very, very good atmosphere. I thought we matched them before kickoff. Obviously, it matters after kickoff. Before kickoff, really good. And then I don't know. I thought we were good, but then nerves kind of took over. And second half, when they've got all their fans going, and they get the first goal, and then the second goal, it's a body blow there. And then when we start to get up as fans again after Cameron scores and they get one back, and it was really, really sloppy. The goal. I'm nowhere am I going to single out any individual players here. Like, I'll obviously mention the names of Bajrami making that mistake, but it could have been anyone making that mistake. He's not the only player that's made a mistake this season. So when that happens, we had 3 minutes? 3 minutes where, for those 3 minutes, I was convinced we were going to go on and win that game. And if we don't make a poor mistake, I think we go on to win the game. I really, really do.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to make of it, if I'm honest. I keep thinking lots of things. They've got some really good players. And seeing Paul Mullin there playing at home, he was non-existent in the away fixture. Playing at home, he's a good player. He obviously is a good player. He's the top scorer in League Two and then dropped down in division. So he should have been playing in League One a couple of years ago. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah, he is.
He's clever with what he does.
Really, he reminds me a lot of Lee Hughes,
Does he?
The way he plays, his style and everything, it's very, very Lee Hughes, isn't it? He knows what he's doing with the officials. He knows how to wind players up. He can pull a foul. Very, very, very much like Lee Hughes, I think. So as much as it's frustrating to play against players like that, sometimes you do have to remind yourself that, like, hold on, we had a player like Lee Hughes, and he's like Notts County legend, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, I mean the way he took that goal in this league, what you have one chance in a game like that, and he put it across Sam Slocum with one touch. I mean, 9 times out of 10 in this division, it's not that's not going in. It's not going in. Like even I back Maka to score that, but most players you need a touch and then set yourself. I will say I've watched it back. I think it's a foul on Bajrami for the first, but it's done and dusted. There were incidents in that game from both sides. There should have been a clear penalty on Paul Mullen in the first half from Kyle Cameron pushing him, but whether that's like reputation going against him or the fact it was quite early on in the big game, ref didn't want to give it. And I think we got away with a few offsides as well, personally. From what I'm seeing on TV, what I've heard from people that watched on TV, there was 3 or 4, possibly more offsides that were closer than they were made. I sort of stood there in the way and thinking, these can't all be offside. They can't all be off. And there are a few where Will turned around to us, because he was in the row in front, and he was saying sort of, there's no chance that was offside. So, it probably balances out. The penalty, good call from the ref, it was a penalty. But I can't help but feel like we missed a trick. Well, going into half-time 1-0 up, you're 50, 55 minutes away from putting yourself in the driving seat. And I think something could have changed.
Like what?
The high line, personally. I know that's how we play, and I'm never going to criticise Williams because he's a million times the tactician I am. Well, I've only ever played Football Manager. Like, I'm not going to say. But from my perspective, and I heard it around us, possibly even from ourselves, they were going to catch us out at some point. And what they ultimately do? How many times did they catch us out? A couple with the high line, maybe up 3.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I disagree.
You think you would have carried on playing it?
Yeah, well, we did, and I know we lost, but it was just unlucky. Like you said, the Bajrami foul, the error from Bajrami as well. That's football. That those things happen, and I think those things don't happen. It's a completely different game, and it was sort of said in the presser that Williams did, even when we conceded, we didn't really show much anxiety. There was no rush to sort of make us score, make it happen. It was sort of like, look, we've done this all season. Why will we change it? And I think you drop back a little bit, like you sort of suggested. You invite more pressure, so Wrexham would have more chances. And we saw it firsthand. You can't give Wrexham more chances because they're so clinical in front of goal. I think Slocum made 1 save. Other than that, I think all the shots that were on target went in. They were so good in front of goal. Even the Mendy goal, I thought, it's a difficult, tight angle, difficult goal. It's your first touch you shoot, and it's a difficult goal to score, and he does really well. But that was it. It was just sort of those individual lucky moments that sort of changed the game. I don't really think the tactics really were wrong. My opinion on that has changed. I was sort of thinking, we're playing a high line, they're exploiting it, and you saw it in. I don't know if anyone's watched the Ben Foster vlog, but he sort of has a little video in the changing room, in the Wrexham changing room after the game, and Phil Parkinson sort of saying, we got them what they were bad at, defending, sort of laying into us a little bit, sort of like we exploited the high line, but they were lucky. They were very, very lucky. They had their chances, don't get me wrong, but they were lucky. Their first goal, like you said, foul on Bajrami. It was a foul on Bajrami as well. There's no one can convince me it wasn't. The Bajrami error as well. Like, never ever would you see a defender do that, where they sort of backheeled it straight to an opposing player. I thought they were lucky. I thought on the day, we had more possession. I thought we played some really good football, but
do you know for a 3-2 game,
yeah.
there wasn't many chances at all, really, were there? Not for a 3-2 game.
No, you're right. Yeah.
From our perspective, we had the Cameron one from the edge of the area, which was never going in the first half, which sort of trickled towards the goal Ben Foster saved. And then you had the Sam Austin one that directly led to the corner, in which Kyle Cameron scored from. For them, you've had the one that was straight at Sam Slocum.
Yeah.
They've not really had much more. For a 3-2 game, there wasn't many chances, but it was still a very good game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good game. Everyone that I've sort of spoke to these last few days that aren't Notts fans, Wrexham fans, or whatever, that have sort of come up to me and said, "Watch the game on Monday." They've said how good a game it was. My partner, her family over in Ireland, were sort of messaging me saying, "Wow, what a game that was." So, like I've already said, I'm proud. We put on such a good display, and this team, that Wrexham team, that should really be out of sight with the money that they've spent. Um, we've really held them to account this season, and we've put it on them. We've beat them. We've nearly drew with them. We probably should have drew with them as well. So yeah.
Isaac, do you think our wing backs were really poor, or do you think that Wrexham dealt with them really well?
No, I thought Nemain was immense. The first half, Nemain was fantastic. Second half, he was good as well. I wouldn't say, and that was down Mendy's side as well. I wouldn't say the wing backs were dealt with that well. I think Chickson struggled a little bit, but we've seen that a lot this season, where he sort of struggled to take his man on. I feel like he needs that someone to link up with, and maybe there was a bit of hesitation to sort of bring Cameron forward, which we've seen a lot of this season because we're playing against Wrexham, so you kind of don't want that centre back out of position. So maybe down that left hand side, it wasn't as good as we'd maybe have liked, but I thought Nemain was immense. I think probably one of the best players on the day.
I think it's hard because I can't remember his name over there at right wing back. It wasn't Barnett, was it? But Chickson, you can't go through a game with two very, very attacking wing backs, I don't think. So Chickson was sort of in that mindset of, if this is your Wheelstones at home, we can both attack. But like you say, with Cameron going forward, Ryan Barnett, he's a good player. He's a really good player. The two things I would say from the game, though, I felt for Maka. I really did. I'd like to have known what would have happened if we'd have gone two up top from a completely, I know that you can't go back on it, but I'd love to have known what would have happened if we just went to try and, match them with two up top and had Kedwin and Maka up there, whether the ball would have stuck a little bit more, but then we'd have maybe lost a midfield battle. And the one thing I think was really, really poor, and we've talked about the defending in the high line, and I don't know what you feel about this, George, is that the way that O'Connor was allowed to pass the ball to himself in a game this big was shocking.
Yeah.
That was complete. Everyone switched off. That really, really got me as well. So if you look at it, Paul Mullin goal, first goal, we've said it on here. I think it was a foul.
It was a
second
foul.
one, I think it was the second one, or was it the third? He passed it to himself, and you got the badge error. Horrible, hard to take in my eyes.
Yeah, it is hard to take. You're absolutely right. It is, but I do think, in the reverse fixture, there was times where we rode our luck as well. We were 1-0 up. They were just pelting balls into the box, and we defended our box really well on that day. But we did ride our luck. And look, Wrexham now, correct me if I'm wrong, have 61 points from a possible 63 points at home. I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unbelievable run that is for Wrexham for the home form. So to go there and really upset them, start the game we did, going into half time, buzzing, everyone delighted. It could have been a draw, all that had to happen was that penalty to go in.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't.
You're being biased. The vast majority of poor decisions went against Wrexham. Rewind the video then and watch us talk about that. We've already said that we had some bad decisions against you. So just rewind the video. Simple. Matt, I'm going to be really negative here. I thought we were poor bar Bostock and Palmer, not much going forward down the wings. I think that's the quality of opponent, though, Matt. I really do.
I agree.
I do think that's. Yeah, I think it's just the quality of the opponent. I think it's the stadium we were in, and a lot's been made, George, hasn't it, about the atmosphere at Meadow Lane. I genuinely think if our ground held 10,000 less, and we could fill it every game, I think it'd be better. I really do.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. And also, the atmosphere at Meadow Lane is made to feel like it subconsciously doesn't feel as good. Do you know what I mean? Because there are empty seats. So I think, look, Wrexham's atmosphere brilliant. If we could match that, superb. But until we can start filling the stadium fully, what do you think about the conversation about away fans being near the family stand?
Putting them back in. I've seen a lot of people saying of putting them back in the cot.
No, not true. Definitely not. But what about putting the away fans to the side of the side where the Kop is?
Yeah,
That side of the
yeah, it would definitely make for a better atmosphere, in my opinion, because you've got sort of fans goading each other a little bit, which always creates an atmosphere. I mean, why? I think the issue there is we're thinking purely about atmosphere, where there's obviously a safety issue there as well, isn't there? That's why fans are obviously separated the way they are towards the family stand. But I mean, purely from an atmosphere point of view, I agree. I think put them next to the Kop.
Yeah.
When that stands full, when the stands full, when we play the likes of Wrexham, Chesterfield, teams like that, and they do sort of sell out the Cyril. They're sat right up to the Kop, aren't they? So why not just budge on the other end?
Yeah.
Why should the people in the family stand get the brunt of the away fans?
Yeah, I think it would make much more sense to move them there.
Yeah.
Ian says, remember, yeah, we do have Forest to contend with, and Wrexham. It's that one side.
Who?
Forest. They wear red, but they're not actually in Nottingham, are they? They're like over the river.
Rushcliffe FC.
Rushcliffe FC, I think it is. Yeah, having a solid season as well, which is always good to see. So yeah, big fan of that. All the season they're having. Another thing, Nathan, wish we had Baldwin. I think that there's a mistake in Baldwin as well.
I think it's worth mentioning as well. How many Baldwin's probably played a handful of games at centre back, and
Baldwin?
he's Bajrami. Sorry, yeah, Bajrami. He's played a handful of games at centre back, and he's literally put into the biggest game of the season. Probably the biggest game in National League history. It's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Not seen loads. He's seen a bit of game time this season, but not loads. And the majority of the time, he sort of played midfield, hasn't he? So
yeah, I feel for him. And he came in for the away fan, apologised, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
And also, I feel for Kedwin. But strikers are like, once he gets a couple of goals again, he'll be on it. Confidence will be going there. He's a great player. I suspect he'll be our main striker next season. If we don't go up, even if we do go up, he'll possibly be up there. But no, he's a very, very good player. He's a great player, and it takes guts to stand up and say, "I'll have that penalty." And I liked Williams when he was asked about it. You're thinking to yourself, why didn't Maka take it? And I've seen him getting a lot of flack, and there's banter flying around about why he didn't take the penalty. If there's a better penalty taker on the pitch, or someone that shows it more in training, why would you just because Maka scores from open play doesn't mean he's better than Kedwin at penalties? It's simple. Why you could say that about Ruben. Maka scored more, so why does Ruben take the penalties? It's very, very simple.
I would like to have seen a senior player sort of step up there, though.
I was thinking, I think you mentioned it to me. Bostock's just scored that free kick.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't even a bad penalty, to be fair.
No, it wasn't. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, foot's off the line. And that's the liner's only job, but they were never, ever. He could have been a metre off that line and they're not going to make him retake it. Not at their place. No way. But yeah. Do you know, ultimately, though, I've been kind of calming myself down with. The game was the title. If people think the title is gone, or if it comes to the end of the season, it wasn't lost in this game because we beat them at our place. They beat us at their place. It's Yeovil, it's Dorking, it's Dagenham, it's Boreham Wood. It's those games where the title, and not because we lost them in some cases, because we didn't win. Yeovil at home, such an easy game to come away for 3 points with, and they just ground it out. So guts him. And that Dagenham one, killer. Absolute killer. The margins of that being 0 points or 3 points, absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. What do you think to our question then, George? We'll go early with our question. Well, what's the poll question today?
Poll question today is the title race over?
What do you think?
Tom?
Can I go first?
You go first, mate.
I'll tell you what I voted.
It's your birthday.
Not my birthday at all. Birthday's in September.
Got it all wrong.
I'm going to tell you. I voted no. I would like to reevaluate my answer.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to tell you, I think you're insane.
You think it's over?
It's miles over. It's well over. Look,
over.
I'm optimistic, but Wrexham will have to lose 2 games in the next 4 games for us to even stand a chance. That means us winning the 3 games we have left. And we have Woking on Saturday, who are a really good team. I think it's done. It is done.
I don't think it is. I think Saturday. Right, I'm not saying it's like a 50. I'm saying it's like 95% chance Wrexham win the league. All I'm saying is they've got to go to Barnet, and we see in football, teams come off these back of these great wins and then they lose a game, a game they shouldn't have lost.
Nah.
If they, so let's go in right now. Would you still say it's definitely over if they drew against Barnet and we beat Woking and they dropped two of the points that they needed still?
Yeah, because they only need 2 wins then from the last 3 games, and they still won the league.
Torquay smashing everyone.
Mate, come on.
I tell you who we could do with them playing, Gateshead.
Yeah.
Can we have all 4 fixtures against Gateshead?
Yeah, they're on fire at the minute, aren't they?
Have you seen?
They're like 12 points off playoffs, aren't they?
Something like that. Yeah,
it's unreal.
But no, it's not. It's not over. Mathematically, it's not over. It's a very difficult run-in. Like if Notts were in the league, in the lead, and they had their run-in, I'd be feeling nervous. I can see why they're feeling nervous. They've got we have. I know it's not about what we do, but we have 2 sides with nothing to play for, and they have 4 sides with everything to play for.
Yeah.
You know, imagine we're sat here. I think imagine we're sat here in 3 weeks and they've lost all 4 by 5 goals. I can see it happening.
Way. There's
no way. I
can
see Yeovil turning up and beating them 4-5 now. Personally,
no.
But no, there's a chance. If they beat Barnet, it's definitely all over in my eyes. But yeah, there we go.
You've got to be looking at their away games, I think, because the home games, no chance.
No. You think the home games are their home games are what, Bournemouth and Yeovil, and their away games are Barnet and
Torquay
on the last day. Yeah. I think I agree with Andrew here. The one game they're going to absolutely hammer the side is Yeovil. They're going to absolutely hammer Yeovil, and it could all be done for them by the shouting for Yeovil this Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
Corey said, would love it if Wrexham lost all 4, not likely though. I'd say it's 50-50 chance that they lose all 4.
It'd be absolutely brilliant if that did happen,
Could
but
you
it's
imagine?
not going to happen, is it?
No. Let's go on to our opponents then. I mean, all the pressure's off Notts now, but imagine if we'd have won the game against Wrexham, we were going into a game against Woking, we had to win. Woking are a good side. You've already said it. A really good side. I'd just like to say I put them 4th this season in my pre-season prediction. We knew they were going to be good. They've got a really good manager.
Yeah, I don't believe you. So if anyone else don't believe you, you'll have to watch the video.
Yeah, definitely watch the video just to make sure I did say it.
Yeah.
I think we'll put them 4th as well. But yeah, what do you expect from Woking tomorrow? Now, let me just explain the picture for you to remind yourself, George, and also for people that might not be aware of the situation Woking are in. We're in 2nd on 100 points. Woking can't catch us. They're in 3rd, 76 points. And the only team really capable of catching them is Chesterfield on 75. So there's 1 point separating 3rd and 4th. And other than Grimsby last year that sort of beat us, then beat Wrexham, unless you finish 2nd or 3rd, you've got a very, very, very slim chance of going up. So it's massive for them, isn't it? They have to come and win because I think Chesterfield are going to Eastleigh. Have I got that right? No, they're at home to Eastleigh, who are in free fall. What do you expect tomorrow? They're not going to sit back.
No. the thing that concerns me now is obviously we've gone to Wrexham. There's been a lot made of our high line and stuff like that. Our team's going to try and exploit the high line now. I think there's a lot of teams that will try and exploit the high line and it'll backfire.
Do you think do you not think though that Wrexham just are the only ones that actually did it? Do you not think we've been seeing that for weeks? I feel like was it Boreham Wood came Barnet and just tried it non-stop. To be fair, Barnet could have been 2 up by the time we worked them out.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? It is hard, but it could literally go anyway now, couldn't it? Because the mentality of Notts, it could really knock the stuffing out some players. I know William talks about sort of debriefing games and stuff like that and sort of drawing a line under it, but a game of that magnitude, it's obviously going to have some sort of effect on players, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for me, Wokin's a big reaction game. We'll see how they respond to sort of losing, because we've only seen it in the league 3 times now this season, which is it's not even losing 1 in 10. It's less than that. It's mad.
What do you think if we go and don't perform tomorrow?
Yeah, that's when confidence starts to slip, I think, a little bit. I know we've had a fantastic season and we're on 100 points, but that doesn't mean that confidence can't be knocked. It'll be a true test of character for a lot of the Notts players, I think. Because the last thing we want if we're going into the playoffs is a team that we sort of feel have had that X factor all season, and then all of a sudden in the last handful of games they sort of lost it due to confidence. So yeah,
good performance tomorrow.
Yeah, we need it. We do need it. We just need to breathe that confidence through us and just basically do what we've done all season.
Talking of that though, there is the Maidstone game coming up, and if any game's going to breed confidence, you'd hope it's that game.
Yeah, Regan Booty plays something, doesn't
he? Yeah, I mean,
should be a straightforward game.
Drew against Barnet, but they lost like the 7 games before that. Yeah, Regan Booty is rubbish player.
You can't say that.
I don't rate him at all, if I'm honest.
I thought he was good for Notts. Muck, that's all.
I don't think he's very good. Anyway, Ian asked, who do we think is going to sneak into 7th spot? So it's really between Eastleigh, Bromley, or possibly Southend. Eastleigh are looking done, aren't they, George?
Pretty much.
Bromley, if any of those sides worry me a little bit, it's Bromley. We seem to have a little bit of a curse against them. We'd be playing the winner of 5th v 6th, which at the minute is Barnet, who look to probably be getting that 5th or 6th, or Boreham Wood. Any of those sides at home really, really concern you?
Both, really, yeah. I think they're both good sides. Boreham Wood can frustrate you, as we saw this season. We've seen it pretty much every season we've been in the National League, to be fair. Barnet, like you've already said, sort of try and infiltrate our high line. So yeah, both teams obviously do concern me, but we have the quality to beat them.
Yeah. I'd rather Boreham Wood, though, I think, than Barnet. Barnet, like you say, they've got those players, and Barnet away, I know you couldn't make Barnet away, but they should have scored a couple in the second half. Like Carnu worries me. They've got Kabamba, who scores a lot. So yeah, they concern me a little bit. Bromley definitely concern me as a side. I thought they had no chance of the playoffs, and then they've gone on a run without losing in 5 games. Drawing with Boreham Wood, drawing with Barnet. Ian said, "Did you get your Maidstone tickets?" Yes, Ian. Did you manage to get yours? It'll be interesting to know who's going. I know there was a queue this morning, George, for Maidstone tickets. So people like me still believe. Andrew says, "You want Boreham Wood at Wembley and stretch them." We had a debate, didn't we, about Wembley pitch being bigger, and someone really came in our comments a few years ago after we played Harrogate and said Wembley's pitch is not bigger.
Meadow Lane's bigger than Wembley.
It's supposed to be, isn't it? But do you trust that?
I do trust it. I've measured it.
What with? One of those wheels you had at school that clips?
5 meter ruler.
5 meter ruler. It's definitely. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
It is.
Wembley's massive.
It feels massive, but the pitch itself, Meadow Lane it's only fractionally, but it is bigger.
Yeah. And I got mine queued up at 6 and with 8th in the queue. I don't know if they're still, have we sold out? Are there still someone saying? I know there's the season ticket holders at the minute. Trundle Wheel, that's it. Use a Trundle Wheel. Is it at Wembley or London Stadium this year? Playoffs are at Wembley this year, I believe. Almost certainly at Wembley.
Yeah, they are.
Right, George.
Thomas.
Any changes?
Yes.
How many changes? Or have you not really calculated that yet?
11.
11 changes.
No, I'm joking.
We'll call Clara Mitchell.
No.
Scored,
yeah, he did. Yeah. No, I think maybe a hand, probably like 3 or 4 changes. Maybe. I'm thinking Baldwin in, give him fit. Maybe Brinley as well, because I think this game will be more of a sort of back three of Brinley, Baldwin, and Cameron.
Yep.
Wing backs. Now I'm going to go a bit left field here, but I would like to see Vincent play left wing back.
I agree.
He's just got it, hasn't he? He's got it.
But I don't think you'll see him.
We won't see him. We won't. No, Williams does. He's got a lot good to say about Chickson. I mean, rightly so. But I think when Vincent has come on, he scored the other week, didn't he? He scored on last Friday.
What's your reasoning?
I just think he's got the ability to take a player on, and he's got lots of energy. And given it, if it needs changing, he can change it. And if he wants to be moved around the pitch, I think he possibly could be. But yeah, I mean, for it to be like the obvious answer, I think he links up very well. One of his strongest attributes to me is like the ability to see an overlap and run as well.
Yeah.
From both angles. So to be the overlapper and to see the overlap and run come on, I think he's very good at that, and that's obviously sort of pivotal for a wing back. So yeah, for me, yeah, Chickson, he's good. You know, scored a lot this season, but I feel sometimes he just falls a little bit short and leaves a little bit to be desired. That might be a little bit harsh, but it's just my opinion.
I wouldn't drop him. I'd keep him for the rest of the season in there, but I'd like to see Vinny in there just because there might be an opportunity. Well, we might need to switch it up. So, do you know what I mean? We might get to a point where we need to see more of what Vincent, rather than when we're 2-3 goals up and you see him coming on the pitch.
Yeah.
Right. So we're the same with Slocum in goal, and then the same, but we want to see Vinny come in and possibly Brinley and Baldwin. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Midfield, yeah. Then I'll take over the midfield. I think we see Bostock.
Yeah.
What a moment, that free kick.
Oh, don't.
I did say he'd be an important player in the game. I did say that. Bostock, Palmer, and Sam Austin. Did you know Sam Austin has 20 goal involvements this year? He's barely been on the pitch. Well, he hasn't barely been on the pitch, has he? But he's not been on as much as you like. I did say last week, I said that Austin's a good option to have there instead of Rodriguez. You said
no, you
rubbish.
Didn't. No. That was me. No one agreed with me.
If you don't believe, go back and find the footage.
Yeah, exactly. Watch the last video. Give it a like as well. And if you don't subscribe.
Even my dad said he wasn't sure about that comment from you, though.
I was bang on there, wasn't I?
No.
I'm right.
You said there's a replacement for Ruben.
Yeah, and I stick by that.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I mean, you can't stick by that. I've told you.
No, there's just...
Don't make me. Don't make me do that again.
I don't know if you've watched the presser. I don't know if you've watched the presser with Sam Austin, but one of the reporters put the question to him: are you and Ruben having a little bit of a friendly competition to see who can have the most assists this season? Because Austin's 3 or 4 behind Ruben. Tell me how many starts Austin's had this season.
How many starts?
Yeah,
can't tell you exactly.
All right, well, just roughly, and then think about how many starts Ruben's had.
Yeah,
and this isn't me picking up Ruben or anything like that. This is me simply saying that I think we have such a quality player in Sam Austin. If the worst does happen at the end of the season and we do sort of see the back of Ruben, which I hope isn't going to happen, but could.
Yeah, but has Sam
I
Austin
think
lost?
I think
Has he lost a tooth? Answer that.
potentially. I mean, you don't know that, do you? He could.
In the
Anything could
Wrexham
have
game,
happened.
50-50 chance. It did or it didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No, but
50-50.
I get what you're saying. Like 20 goal involvements is mad. It's madness. And he always seems to get an assist when he came on. Other than Ben Foster's fantastic save, he scored actually on Monday. Sorry, other than a worldy save. But we both agree we want Sam Austin in that midfield in place of Jim this week because that's what I want.
Yeah.
And then up front, Maka.
Yeah.
And then we've got to see at least 45 of Kedwin for me.
Yeah.
Junior Moraes, not this season, do you think?
So go through your team then, Tom. Sorry. So you've got obviously Slocum in goal.
Yeah. Aaron the man.
Yeah.
Brinley, Baldwin, Cameron. I'm going to say Chickson for 45, Vinny for 45.
All right.
Baldwin, no, sorry, not Baldwin. Bostock, Palmer, and Austin.
Yeah.
And then Ruben and Maka.
Yeah.
I forgot to say Ruben, I think.
Yeah, you did. That's where the numbers weren't adding up for me.
Moraes
I
cameo in
agree.
the playoffs, someone says. Imagine if he only came on in the final for the last few minutes and scored a winner.
Lovely.
Lifetime, lifetime hero at Notts for coming on.
Lifetime high fives from Tom Wagstaff.
Yeah, I'd high five him, 100%. But yeah, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. 3 games left, hopefully 5 left. But I'm saying there's still hope that the league's not over. But at the same time, like I'm realistic. It's not over, but it's very, very, very likely that that it's Wrexham's title. And I'm kind of just wanting these 3 games to get to be done now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's not over, but it's over.
It's not over, but it's probably over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
50-50 chance again. It might be, but it might not. There we go. George, what do people say on the poll then? Because you never went to the result for that.
All right, well, it's a good time to get it now because I've had more votes. I've had 102 votes this week, which is
102. Unbelievable. There's probably some Wrexham fans in there as well.
Yeah,
we had that one that didn't watch any of the rest of the video.
Yeah, that one. Is the title race over? 59% say yes. I think you're all insane. 41% say no.
You think the 59% are insane?
No, other way around.
Oh, hang on.
Other way around.
You've changed your tune.
What a blunder.
You've listened to me.
What a blunder.
What a blunder from you. So you've actually voted no, didn't you?
No, I voted yes. I meant to. I'm in a pickle here. I've got it all mixed up.
George, score prediction. The hardest game remaining in the league this season.
Yeah, I think 2-1 Notts.
Do you?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a close game. But I just think our sort of options up top will be the difference in this game.
Okay. 2-1 Notts. I'm agreeing. I was going to say 2-0, but
that's 2 games on the trot we've both agreed on 2-1 Notts.
Yeah. Maka both.
Maka gets
both.
Who's that?
Maka gets both. Maka both. He plays. He got 40 odd goals this season. Maka both. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. So start to get your predictions in. I'll put a few up on the screen. George Ian says, will we be sitting in the cot for the playoff semi-final? What do you think? Too early to make that decision?
We're going up automatic, aren't we, Tom?
What?
We're getting automatic, aren't we, Tom?
Yeah, we are. So there's no playoff semi-final.
We'll see. What do you think, Tom? It was good last year, to be fair. I enjoyed it in the car.
It was, but I feel like we moved and then we lost.
Yeah, no, you're right. Could have been all on us that.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was on. I think we'd be top of League 2 if we hadn't done that. Personally,
I think you are right though. We're a little bit superstitious like that, aren't we?
Yeah, we don't like it when we can't sit in our normal seats or we have to turf people out, which we don't like doing. But you're kind of like the enforcer, aren't you, George?
Sometimes
unscrew the seats and literally slide people down the steps. Madness.
Yeah, or yellow paint on their jeans.
Yeah, crazy. Right. I'm going for 3-1 Woking. Deary me.
Oh no.
2-1 Notts, Scott and Chickson. 2-1 Notts, Macca and Austin. We've got a 3-0 Notts, Ruben and Macca ×2. I'd like that. We've got a 2-1 Notts, Langstaff double. Here we go. Cam says 4-2 Chickson hat trick and big man Ed Francis.
We'll have a job. He don't play for Notts at the minute, does he?
But you know, Callum, if you want to have a bet on that, I'm sure they'll take that. The bookies will take that. So 4-2. But yeah, not as confident as normal, George. That's safe to say.
Yeah, no, I agree. Woking a good side, coming off the back of defeat. We're obviously going to feel a little bit. Let's just say not as confident as usual.
Yeah, we've got a 4-1 and we've got a 1-1 as well in there. What I would say is, we thought there was no way of Halifax beating Wrexham. If Barnet were to beat Wrexham tomorrow, the atmosphere would change it an awful lot. If the expected happens and Wrexham beat Barnet, then I think we've not really got anything to. We just go out and I think we'll see Notts for the first time in months without pressure. And do you remember Notts at the start of the season without pressure? Teams couldn't get near us and we were taking our chances. So it might be nice to see that. So there we go. Massively appreciate the numbers. We got up to almost 120 viewers tonight, being on a Friday night, and we did move it quite late. So we really do appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We're trying to get as many as we can before the end of the season. Hopefully, we'll have a special guest on at some point before the playoff run, if it is to be that, or if it's to be automatic. Who knows? We'll see. We'll know more tomorrow. We are the late kickoff, so don't forget that. As always, thank you for joining us. Leave any comments you have after the video, and please do give the video a like.